Evening, folks. Melvin here. Look, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. 2015 was a good year for old Melvy. I got my chimpanzee breeder's license, took a long overdue trip to the beginning of time and space, and Lucinda and I finally broke the world record for longest sex marathon between two real people that actually happened. Why would you even ask?
But I wasn't alone. Video games had a pretty solid year as well. From open-world zombie survival parkour adventures to even more installments of Five Nights at Freddy's, every type of gamer got something groundbreaking and maybe even a little boobalicious.
With that in mind, and they always are, I give you the top 10 games of 2015.
Guys, I know I sound like the boy who cried wolf, but this time I really mean it. With the Taken King, we finally have the Destiny game we always dreamed of. There's so much new stuff, like a whole new type of enemy in the form of the Taken. Now, some ignorant people might say they're just a reskin of the old enemies, but that is totally overlooking their awesome new abilities. What? Did that Taken just teleport slightly to the left?
Whoa!
Now this is pod racing.
And can we talk about the story for a second? Gone is that boring old piece of generic sci-fi nonsense, and in its place is a shorter, slightly less nonsensical piece of generic sci-fi nonsense. And just look at how many one-liners Nathan Fillion gets.
Get your rock off my map. You know, you're a true artist. Can't even see the join. I gotta go, see about a ship.
That totally makes up for a year of lackluster content.
And maybe the best part of the whole thing? Microtransactions. Here I was ready to sacrifice my firstborn child to the cavernous maw of the Belphegor for a couple of dance emotes, but now Bungie is offering them at a totally reasonable price of just $5 each!
Now this is pod racing.
Plus they just added Sparrow Racing!
Wow! Anakin. Buddy? Kinda teed this one up for you.
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
Ow, fuck!
You know what old Melvy hates? Teens. They're smelly, hormonal, and they think the prequels are better than the original trilogy.
Now this is pod.
Shut up, Anakin! Your bit's over!
But do you know what old Melvy loves? Teen slasher flicks. They're fun, campy, and feature plenty of sexy co-eds.
Who are all played by actresses of legal age. Right?
So imagine my delight upon playing Until Dawn. It's like the best slasher film that never was, combining all the tropes you'd expect, like stereotypical characters and jump scares, with a legitimately engaging and terrifying storyline. My only gripe with the game,
Spoiler alert.
is that no matter what you do, you can't get Mike and Jessica to bang in the cabin. Tragic, I know. They get so close, but alas, 'twas simply not meant to be. Look, I'm gonna be square with you folks. I got into her story based on false pretenses. It was late at night, I had a couple of apple teenies, and I was combing through the Steam store when I happened upon this little gem. Based on the name and some screenshots, I thought it was a radically different game. But after I got over my initial disappointment that I wasn't embarking on an Oculus Rift-fueled virtual sexcapade, I was blown away by this unique addition to the adventure game genre. Scrubbing through various clips of footage to determine her guilt or innocence doesn't sound like the most ideal way to spend a Tuesday night, but in reality this game quickly pulls you into the mystery and keeps you thinking long after it's over.
Look, it's a game that offers a truly one-of-a-kind experience, and you should play it. That's it. Not every one of these has to end in a joke. I'm not your monkey.
Look, I gotta give major props to Nintendo here. As a company famous for making games aimed at younger audiences, they really broke the mold when they made Splatoon. I couldn't believe they'd make a game where you run around killing other children and covering the entire map with jizz. Purple jizz, orange jizz, yellow jizz, all the jizz colors of the rainbow.
It's so brave, so avant-garde.
This may be the best postmodern social commentary on our society's dependence on sexuality and social stigmas yet realized in the interactive arts. And from a technical standpoint, the jizz physics are unparalleled. I mean, they nailed the way jizz hits walls, floors, even faces. It's just so...
Wait, what? What do you mean it's not jizz? It's ink? They're shooting ink? You mean to tell me that that sticky, gooey, vaguely salty tasting substance isn't jizz? Oh, hell no. We're redoing this one. Take it back to the bitty. Okay, Rise of Tomb Raider. It's good. Lots of cool stuff. Puzzles, combat, semi-open world gameplay. Lore's hot, which helps. Oh, and it doesn't lie to you about jizz. F***ing Splatoon.
Look, I'm sure you all think I picked Witcher 3 for scenes like this, but the game has so much more to offer than just sex. It's got a vast open world, deep, satisfying combat, unicorn f***ing, an engaging storyline, a myriad of endings, 2 hot girls tying you to a bed.
Come on, Melvin. Get it together.
Brothel sex, sex in a meadow, shit, sex in a lighthouse? No,
Damn it! Okay, you got me. Yes, it's for the sex. I'm sorry, I'm only human. God! Next one.
Look, we all know that sports are for nerds. Bunch of grown men dressing up in colorful outfits, manhandling each other, smacking butts.
Man, these dweebs must never get laid.
Then along came Rocket League, finally making sports accessible to cool people. Who knew all it took was jamming cars, rocket boosters, and explosions into lame old soccer? I mean, what would you rather do? This?
High fly ball into right field. She is gone!
Lame. Or this? Sweet. This?
Jordan with 2 seconds to go, puts it up and scores at the buzzer!
How about you go kiss a girl, nerd? Or this? I'm inking! I'm inking!
I ain't.
Some games you love for their deep, emotional stories, others for their rich and rewarding gameplay, but in the case of Deception 4, you love it because, well, this. And this. And who could forget this? Now, Deception may not blip the radar for most self-professed game connoisseurs these days, but if you can't get behind playing as Satan's barely clothed daughter, running around in bikini armor knocking sexy schoolgirls into rotary saws, maybe you need to reevaluate the amount of joy in your life. This game is basically what it would be like if the devil and Milton Bradley teamed up to make a hellish version of the classic 90s board game, Mousetrap.
A crazy contraption, the fun is catching its mousetrap.
Is it weird? Sure. Is it mildly sadistic? Perhaps. Is it Japanese? Oh, as a 100-foot robot piloted by a 12-year-old. And do we have any more to say about it? No. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I love Batman. I'm wearing a flippin' Batman robe right now, for God's sakes.
I think you know where my loyalties lie.
I know I said in my first episode that Arkham City is the best adaptation of a comic book character to a video game ever.
This is inarguably the best adaptation of a comic book character to a video game ever.
But fuck that game. Arkham Knight is better, tank bullshit and all.
Look, I want to take a moment to clear the air about something I previously said about Arkham City. It's still a great game. I was just caught up in the heat of the moment, and I'm sorry.
Unlike every other game I've ever talked about, I'm not going to spoil the story for you in case you haven't played it, which you need to do if you haven't because it is legitimately one of the best Batman stories ever told.
And to all my fellow PC brothers out there, the struggle is real.
Now, it may come as absolutely no shock to you, but I was pretty f***ing popular in high school. I was the captain of every sports team, women's included, regional master debate team champion, and I absolutely 100% factually had sex with numerous women that all actually existed for realsies. Sadly, things went so incredibly well for me during high school that I missed out on all the angsty teen experiences that I saw in my favorite 80s movies, like getting bullied, facing rejection, turning into a werewolf.
Man, all I got to do was slam dunk and slay vag.
That's why I enjoyed Life is Strange so much. It allowed me to experience the trials and tribulations of high school from the perspective of a nerdy outcast while still maintaining some familiarity in the form of time travel powers that I also totally have. Can't believe you didn't know that about me.
Yep, high school went great for old Melvin.
Fourth-dimensional energy being and man after my own heart, Hideo Kojima poured decades of salty, pervy hatred into one of the greatest open-world stealth masterpieces of all time, and still had the foresight to add a murder stripper who jiggles when it rains. Sure, you can point to the multitude of hidden interactions and Easter eggs in a game where nearly every tactical option is somehow possible, or the flying robot fists that explode punches Russians in the dick, or the kinda, sorta, sexy ocelot, but only in like an objective sort of way.
What? He's a good-looking man!
All of those things do make the game great, possibly the greatest, but in a world populated by pooping soldiers, one-eyed pirate dogs, and pink flamethrower robot friends, and an army of randomly generated animal people who thank you when you slap them, there's still this. And this. And this! It's beautiful. I don't even need the rest of Phantom Pain to make this my game of the century. It's everything a Melvin could ever want, wrapped in a throbbing, jiggling, definitely explained by the plot, thong bikini. You've got mecha, you've got explosions, you've got a literal whale made of literal fire, cameo appearances, origin stories, golden helicopters, zebra-striped tanks, invisible armor, boobs, 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 boobs! Konami, you have sinned, and your hell is living in a world where Kojima builds heaven for somebody else. Our #1 game of 2015 is Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain.
Stick that in your pipe and boobs it.
And there you have it, the top 10 games of 2015. So the next time you find yourself playing a game that makes you go, ugh, this game sucks, try one of these instead. You'll be glad you did.
Well, that's all the time we have for you tonight, folks. I'm Melvin, and I'll boobs you later. See you later. Boobs. I'll see your boobs later. I think we got it on that one. Hey folks, thanks for watching, but don't you go anywhere. Be sure to click that subscribe button to keep up to date on all the latest Warp Zone content. And if you'd like to see my list of top 10 sex scenes in games, click the video on the left. Or if you'd rather see our Star Wars music video that recaps the entire original trilogy in just a few minutes, click the video on the right. And if you have any games you think should have been on this list, let us know by leaving a politely worded comment in the comment section. Okay? Okay, sweet. Warp Zone out.